It has all come down to this. The MLS Cup final this Saturday between Inter Miami and the Vancouver Whitecaps. Miami getting to the final comfortably. Vancouver getting through LAFC and San Diego to book their place. I guess I didn't want to use that word. I was hoping no one would say anything. It was hard watching those highlights against my San Diego team. But yes, unfortunately, it was a little too comfortable for Vancouver. San Diego didn't put up too much of a fight in that one. But listen, we're going to keep talking more about this final. Felipe, to talk about Inter Miami first, it's now been 6 years since they have been in MLS. They're in the final for the first time. How important is it for them to be in this MLS Cup final where you need to take into consideration everything about this big Inter Miami project?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the question is this a bigger moment for Lionel Messi or is it a bigger moment for Inter Miami? I think the obvious answer, it's a big moment for the club. You know, this is how they validate the project. This is how I think they can point to something and say, we've won an MLS Cup. Now we can continue to build what I think they want to do, which is a super team in North America. But they need to win this game first. I mean, they don't have this legitimate trophy yet. The Supporters Shield, as we know, is given to the team that wins the most points, but then Miami was knocked out of the playoffs early last year. And so this is a big step for Inter Miami, to your point, Claudia. I mean, just 6 years old. Obviously, the ambition that they have from an executive level is very serious. And they need to their proof of concept will occur on Saturday. Yes, bringing Messi was the biggest deal, I think, that the American soccer has seen. But winning MLS Cup, I think, really validates what they're trying to do, not just right now, but long term as well. So it's a big moment for the club.
It's incredible how both of these teams have kind of found their best form as they're approaching MLS Cup, right? Vancouver with Thomas Mueller and Brian White, like just a group of players. But Inter Miami, we can stay on the Inter Miami topic. Beyond Messi, beyond Busquets, Jordi Alba, the big names, Tadeo Allende is killing it. Like, arguably, if he scores in the final, it's the best MLS playoff performance in history. This guy kind of went under the radar in Argentina, came over from Godoy Cruz, and possibly can make moves back to Argentina to marquee teams. I mean, this is historic, Felipe.
You said, I think when an Argentine player that is in the United States suddenly gets linked to River Plate or Boca Juniors or Racing, that means that there's respect for that player and what they're doing in U.S. soccer, because there's still that stigma that if you've gone to MLS, you've dropped your level. That Tadeo Allende now being linked to what would be a big project, a big transformational project at River Plate. And so that tells you everything about the level that he's in. I remember telling myself when I saw him come in the league, this guy can score 15 goals this season. That'll be a big deal. I think he's surpassed that number. I think he's 16 in MLS, maybe 19 total. And think of all the moments and all the chances that he has left on the table. He went through a slump where he couldn't finish, but he has turned into one of the most key players on this team because he's a player that will run for Messi. I mean, that is how Messi can be successful, not just with Inter Miami, with the national team as well. Can you run for him? Can you be smart in the attacking third and finish alongside him? And so Tadeo Allende has done that. I think he's going to be one of the key men, like you said, Nico. Like his playoff run has been pretty historic, and if he can score in this final and lead Inter Miami to a win, he's going to go down in MLS history as like one of those players that popped in, came in, and really made his mark. So he's certainly a player to watch. He's in good form.
Felipe, I want to talk about something and a certain dynamic that happens every time a team plays Inter Miami. And I hope that Vancouver doesn't bring this dynamic to the final, because I think a lot of people are misinterpreting me when I say that they have to bring fight to Inter Miami as if I didn't want Messi and Argentina over here. Didn't want Messi and company to win. But what frustrates me a little bit is that the league that I love in Major League Soccer, that I've broadcasted for so many years, it feels like the other characters that maybe aren't as much as protagonists as the De Pauls and the Messis, when there's all of this bickering and this talk and this game management happening from Inter Miami, that they're really elite at that, it just feels like other teams kind of wilt. They allow Inter Miami to have this type of, to impose this type of dynamic onto the game, and that permits the game to get out of hand. They walked all over Cincinnati. They walked all over New York City. Do you think that will happen to Vancouver?
It could. I think Vancouver would be really smart if during their team talks heading into this final, they're like, this is the game away from the game. We need to face this and we cannot back down. Because as we know, Messi, Lionel Messi needs that. I think he gets into that type of game because it helps him individually. It fires him up. He gets locked in, and then his teammates around him say, well, if the greatest player of all time, if the eight-time Ballon d'Or winner is arguing with an MLS midfielder, we better show up too. And so Vancouver has to prove that they're not the Vancouver that lost 5-0 to Cruz Azul in the CONCACAF Champions League final, because that was a big moment for them. That was going to Mexico, facing an environment and a team that they're not accustomed to, and they walked away with a 5-0 loss. And so that is, I think that's the version of Vancouver that we remember, and what we've seen since Thomas Mueller has been signed, and what we've seen during the playoffs is a team that wants to fight, a team that believes, I think, that they are destined to do something really impressive and really important for the club this season, not next season, right now. And I think that's why Thomas Mueller has been so important, because he's come in and he's really elevated a good team to become a better team. But I agree with you, Nico. If they're not ready for the fight, if they're not ready for the trash talk, this game on Saturday could go south pretty easily.
Now, with these two teams, we've got legends on both sides of the games, both sides. I don't know if this has happened before. We've always maybe had a big superstar on one team or the other, but Thomas Mueller, Lionel Messi on both sides.
Now that I think of it, is this the first MLS Cup with World Cup winners on both teams?
How incredible is that?
Well, I think that's sort of the unscripted version and the beauty of MLS. I think some people want to point to, well, you're bringing in players that are in their last legs, or they're trying to finish their career. But clearly players like Thomas Mueller and Lionel Messi, if they're put in the right situation, if they're put into an organization that wants to win, not just sign a big player, then those talents, those winners are going to affect their teammates. And you're looking at Mueller and Lionel Messi, what they've won before they came to MLS. You almost wonder, like, are they even feeling any stress coming into MLS Cup? And what I think of what we see in football is that players at their age, 38, 37, that they've already won everything. They've won World Cups, they've won Champions League, they've won titles with their club's teams. These tournaments, when they're in their last few years, mean a lot more than we think. And so I think that's part of the story with this MLS Cup. Thomas Mueller, Lionel Messi, they don't need to win to solidify their legacies, but clearly they want to win for what they're signed up for right now. And so I think that just brings another tail of the tape that makes the final really, really interesting, without a doubt.
I mean, now that you say that, I hadn't really thought about it. For Messi and for Mueller, this might be the trophy that least will carry weight in their legacy, while at the same time, for a lot of the players playing in the final, it'll be the biggest game of their career. Biggest
and only trophy that they may win. Okay, what's your quick prediction here on this one? I have a feeling which way you may be going, but Bogart threw us off yesterday by saying Vancouver, so what are you thinking?
I'm going to say 3-1 to Inter Miami. I think they are locked in on what they can do, and they want to win this tournament this year. Messi wants to win the trophy. He wants to validate everything that he's done in North America. So I'm going to take Inter Miami 3-1 on Saturday.
Oh, I'm hoping it's more of a goal fest than that. Even if Inter Miami wins, I don't really have a hand in this game, but I hope we get like 4-3. I want like 6-5 or something. I want chaos.
TFC versus Seattle Sounders repeat, something like that. That type of energy.
That's exactly what I want. All right, Felipe, thank you so much. MLS Cup final is happening this Saturday. It is an early one, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Inter Miami taking on the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.